we have measured approximately over 1 kilometer of depth.
Over a kilometer
Yes,
of depth?
over.
Do you think that the pyramid was a nuclear fusion machine?
Please give me another question. I don't know. Maybe the water goes through these spirals, and the spirals are made by piezoelectric material.
You think we can turn the power grid back on?
But we do like that.
The existence of this simply gargantuan structure will inevitably lead to a complete rewriting of human history. A moment I have long envisioned as inevitable. Its passionate dismissal and denial from the usual suspects, however, has predictably continued onwards unabated. Yet it would seem that although these familiar foes have seemingly and successfully doused the flames which my work and research, along with many others, has created around their feet, this discovery is finally different, not just in form, but scale. It is simply on another level. It is the discovery that we have all been waiting for it is simply one too big to hide, too astonishing to ignore, and clearly of too great of an importance for them to deny forever. For on December the 8th of this year, Filippo Biondi, the radar engineer who has been directing the team's ongoing research of this simply massive underground anomaly beneath that of the Great Pyramids of Giza, and indeed the individual responsible for the initial Doppler scans and indeed discovery of the object, has disclosed yet more groundbreaking and simply extraordinary developments that have been happening within the team's investigations. Finds which I have long postulated would indeed be discovered. That is, of course, if my research thus far had been correct. He has claimed that although initially estimated to have sunk into the ground some 1 kilometer in depth, which although hard to grasp, further investigation and scans have revealed they instead dive some 2 kilometers, over double what was first presumed, and that there are countless other anomalies found at this depth, which thus far have not yet been identified, with what has been found so far now established to be the apparent real-scale version of the curious, and up to this point, unexplainable layout of the known cavities within the Great Pyramid of Cheops, the largest pyramid of the 3, located next door, once created indeed by the original builders of this place, having used foundational stones, or indeed, as explored in previous videos, exoskeleton-sized blocks, those found beneath the many layers of more modern casing stones, all once weighing several thousand tons and often measuring over 40 meters in length each. What these chambers were, each measured at some 80 meters squared, or what they may contain, is obviously unknown. However, the columns, now believed to be some 2 kilometers in length, which all feed into and through these strange cavities, have now been established to be 260 by 260 cubic feet and of a helical coil shape, and most interestingly of all, made of a piezoelectric material. This, not too similar to another strange anomaly within a Russian mountain I recently shared, now partially explored, and then believed to be some form of giant Richter scale machine, generating energy via the vibrations through the earth. Yet the spirals within the columns, the team now believe, were utilized for the passage of water deep down into this massive structure upon the Giza Plateau. With the presence and inclusion of water in the function of these gigantic ancient pyramidal machines, a suspicion and hypothesis I have long shared with you all, for I have indeed encountered its mysterious presence and seeming utilization, not only once across the Giza Plateau and into and beneath other sites across Egypt, but also thanks to Sam Asmanagic and his team's work within Bosnia, who found that the nearby riverbeds had once been completely man-made and seemingly constructed to channel water into and underneath the Bosnian pyramid, And thanks to his vast exploration of the underground network beneath the Pyramid of the Sun and the others nearby, we know that this function was incorporated into the underneath of the structures. Perhaps there is another of these gigantic contraptions beneath the Bosnian site too? Yet I digress. The question is, what are these things? Who built them? Were they, as I, along with countless others, have long suspected, some form of ancient technology used in the harnessing of some form of, as yet to be established energy source? It would indeed explain why ancient pyramids, indeed the precise layout of the Great Pyramids of Giza, can be found all over the world. Perhaps further investigation at other, less explored sites with this same Doppler technology may lead to furthering our understanding of this now lost, yet once clearly global technology, one that has long been suspected to have been lost during a great cataclysm. Along with our ability to move simply impossibly huge ancient megaliths, an ability to seal them together with a now lost, yet also once highly advanced metallurgic recipe, which along with any other metallic instrument has all but rusted away to dust. Or indeed their past capability to lock seemingly randomly cut stones together simply via their shape, and with seeming ease and eye-watering precision. What are these giant things hidden beneath the Giza Plateau? How were they constructed? Why were they constructed? When were they constructed? The mystery surrounding this discovery will undoubtedly get far more incredible, and indeed, far more profound as time goes on. And I will, of course, keep you all posted on the developments at the site as they unfold. And indeed, if others, such as Samir, takes me up on my advice to Doppler, scan the Bosnian pyramid in particular. What do you think this thing is? It is an unraveling of our lost legacy, which will from here on out continue to undoubtedly be highly compelling. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to support my controversial research here upon YouTube. Thank you. Located deep within the Caucasus, high up in the mountains of Kabardino-Balkaria, near the village of Zayukovo within Russia, the rumored tip of a lost prehistoric ruin of gargantuan proportions has recently been discovered. Found after years of exhaustive efforts to verify the source of countless local legends, which all told of a massive ancient anomaly located somewhere deep beneath the mountains. Told of and even claimed as having been witnessed by the elders of the many local tribes, all telling of a now lost ancient underworld, a complex network of dungeons, tunnels, and vast caverns where ancient town squares, houses, and many other dwellings can still be found, still all intact, yet left completely abandoned, untold millennia ago. Quote, "For many years we have searched, we have gone to the places of these alleged dungeons, and we have listened to the elderly, and we found the place, right where, according to Aksakalov's stories, there lay an old city. This not an allegory, but the literal translation of local legend. The old folks say it was built by people who lived here before them, yet who they were, what kind of people, nobody knows." Vadim Chernobrov, head of the Public Research Association, told the mainstream media. He continues, "This city, according to them, was located both above and below ground. An elder recalls that when he was a child, some young people had entered the huge underground city and found its squares, its streets and clubs, but no trace of people. With a still existing underground river, which if followed, led to a central square, in the middle of which a kind of monument, something like a sacred stone, placed in the center of the settlement." End quote. One of the local tribe's elders, known as an Aksakal, would tell Vadim of a place located within the Baksan Gorge, whose name from Kabardian indeed translated to Old City. With this information, several possible closed-up entrances were found, after which they would stumble upon a small, still accessible opening. A possible entranceway into this now lost world deep below the earth. and with the aid of locals Maria and Viktor Kotlyarov, an exploration of the opening was arranged. Led by climber and speleologist Arthur Jemuko, he and a select team of experienced climbers then slowly descended into what he initially presumed a mere natural opening, at the very most a small ancient mine. Yet they would soon realize it of such enormous scale, the ends of the cavern not visible, not even reachable with their ropes. Soon realizing that they indeed within an ancient artifact, not only of clear artificial origin, but as the legends had told, of unimaginably gigantic proportions. Quote, "They are made of smooth stone blocks roughly the same size as that of the Egyptian pyramid stones, and were presumably obtained and constructed with the use of similar technologies, with one attached to the other. Each weighing around 50 to 100 tons, all seemingly well worked and polished to a finish, although chips and cracks have seemingly appeared with age." End quote. The dungeon is of colossal size, and the speleologists have only managed to explore a very small part of it so far, advancing only a mere 100 meters between the narrow walls into the feature. Noting that each of these strange narrow cavities go very deep into the earth and are also all seemingly part of a much bigger anomaly and indeed possible past function. Noting later that the light from their torchlights is not even reaching the bottom. What is this ancient structure? Is it a part of a much bigger complex? One that, for some yet to be established purpose or reason, drills deep into the earth below? The researchers have come to a rather interesting conclusion in regard to what they think this feature could be, and instead of being an entrance to the underworld, which could indeed still exist nearby, have postulated a function similar to the one put forward for the claimed functionality of the anomaly beneath Khafra. Quote, "It looks like a certain resonator, a device for seismological research, mining, or some kind of energy generation," says Chernobrov. And with the recent hypothesis put forward drawing similarities in appearance with the anomaly beneath Egypt and that of apparent tuning forks, also noted specifically as being for possible seismological purposes, is this but a coincidence? Perhaps it's a connection. The entrance the team has uncovered leads into an incredibly narrow vertical shaft, descending tens of meters in each blocked section. Managing to reach a passage they struggled greatly to pass without equipment, yet beyond lay huge hidden rooms 100 meters in height. It is clearly a gigantic artificial feature, one once built over 1 kilometer above sea level and high up in the mountains, yet of a size possibly dwarfing even that of the Great Pyramids. I will keep you posted on further developments. It is a recent, suspiciously little shared discovery, which I find highly compelling. A rumor recently began to circulate within old yet very familiar circles surrounding a newly made groundbreaking discovery deep within that of the Great Pyramid, with Zahi Hawass himself revealing to the press that in 2026, a discovery will be made public that is set to, quote, "rewrite the history of the pyramids." One has to wonder what this discovery could be. What could it contain? Could it be that they will finally reveal once and for all the true purpose for these great ancient structures? Perhaps revealing details which could lead, or at least indicate its true age, or perhaps more importantly, how they accomplished such a feat so far back within history. Although many may still hold out hope for such a revelation, I have long pertained that Hawass, Egyptian antiquities, and indeed any investigative explorations which go on within these secretive spaces, to be heavily restricted, redacted, or controlled. I would even go so far as to postulate they actively conceal these artifacts and evidences from the wider world. And once one begins to see the larger picture at play here, indeed, just how the following developments and discoveries are disseminated into the wider world, you too may begin to suspect this nothing more than a drip feed of information, not only to maintain the current status quo, but to slow the inevitable realization by this same greater population as to the true origin and indeed history of these wondrous pyramids. For although Zahi has long claimed that his mission is to find the final resting places and indeed tombs of such figures as that of Nefertiti, you may begin to suspect that he too knows far more about these three giant mysteries than initially meets the eye. In 1993, for the first time in known history, he would make the strange and controversial decision to close the Great Pyramid off from the general public for an entire year, initially made under the guise of conservation, attempting to balance out the number of public eyes peering into these unmissable buildings with his publicly declared goal to prevent evaporation from the many bodies which traverse its gallery floors and tunnels from damaging the structures. Undertaking the removal of salt, which he states had, quote, encrusted the gallery walls in a thick layer. With this not being the first removal of such a mysterious deposit, with one once quietly removed from the lower chambers before they were ever opened to the general public. A residual piece of evidence not left by human bodies, but a global cataclysmic flood, the evidence for which I have found and subsequently exposed all over our planet. Thus, for now, I digress. This salt removal and conservation effort, however, would eventually, and most conveniently, lead to the first of many astonishing discoveries made within the dark and dusty corners of this massive structure. Thus, it would appear upon the surface that whilst the public, and most notably the media, were conveniently locked out far away, the find of the century would reportedly be made within. Now known as Gantenbrink's Door, and supposedly found by complete accident, whilst Zahi was reportedly attempting to solve the air circulation problem within, by utilizing the infamous shafts already and originally incorporated into the structure, Gantenbrink, along with his groundbreaking robotic technology, would discover secret passages, tiny doors, and most likely secret chambers which I hypothesize have been kept under wraps ever since. Zahi would later write, quote, the shafts were originally discovered in September of 1872 by British engineer Wayneman Dixon. Dixon had pushed a wire through the joints of the masonry of the south wall and realized there was a hollow space behind it. He then chiseled through the wall and found the southern shaft. He looked for a shaft in the equivalent area of the north wall and found one. When he lit a candle and placed it in the southern shaft, it flickered, telling him that there was a slight draft. During the 1993 explorations of the Queen's Chamber shafts, Gantenbrink made some intriguing finds. The northern shaft turned sharply to the west after approximately 27 feet, and the robot could go no farther. In the southern shaft, the robot was again stopped after 208 feet by a door or small slab with two copper handles that blocked the entire shaft. The left handle had lost a piece sometime in antiquity, which was lying about 6 feet in front of the door. In September 2003, we sent another robot into the shafts to find out what was behind the door. We opened a hole 1 centimeter in diameter, and we sent a camera through the hole, finding yet another door just some 21 centimeters beyond the first one. We also sent the robot into the northern air shaft and found that after 20 meters, the shaft bent and continued for another 8. This bend may indicate that it was designed to miss the Grand Gallery, and it also explains that it was carved during the construction of the pyramid. The robot continued for another 60 meters and then stopped in front of a door with 2 copper handles. It is the same distance as the door within the southern shaft, with it too possessing 2 copper handles. End quote. With these shafts known of, even explored and revealed to contain openings to other passages, secret shafts and even unknown chambers within the pyramid all the way back in 1872, one has to wonder, just what else has been discovered within since? What profound understandings of what these things were, or indeed their past function, has been kept secret? Keeping us in the dark merely to uphold what I claim to be nothing more than a myth, a lie once generated by the Egyptians themselves in a deceptive yet successful attempted display of power and abilities. And with Zahi Hawass now coming out to the press to declare another discovery, if we go by previous finds, with the last declared all the way back within 2003, with a notable decade between the exhibitions, whatever this expose may be, it will most likely be sterilized of any information which could lead one to prove, once and for all, either way, just who built this place. For the mystery, not only more profitable, but possibly even part of the original purpose for their creation. For perhaps the journey to the discovery more valuable than the discovery itself. Yet regardless, one has to know, and I will endeavor to keep you all updated on whatever it is they find, and if there is indeed anything they miss or mistakenly expose of substance. What do you think Zahi Hawass, and indeed Egyptian antiquities as a whole, are going to publicly reveal the find to be? Will it, as before, be yet another looted chamber, claimed as having somehow been robbed in antiquity, even though it found deep within the pyramids impenetrable bowels, and also only accessible with the use of modern, robotic technology? Or will we finally get a valid explanation for what these things once were? Whatever it could be, I find its existence, and indeed the entirety of the Great Pyramids themselves, highly compelling.